I'm Hathaway, and on this video today, I'm going to teach you how to stamp a beautiful sheet of buffalo plaid gift wrap paper using a hand-carved stamp. Now, I'm not going to teach you how to carve a stamp because you can learn how to do that in my Skillshare class, Hand-Carved Stamps Made Simple, and there's a link in the description below. Now, to start off, I found some gift wrap paper in my stash that was red, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to teach you guys how to do this. I'm using this very simple design stamp that I carved, and it's a very straightforward square design. It's a 90-degree angle, and I made it kind of big so that it covers a lot of surface, and it gives that big bold buffalo pattern. But if you use it in repetition, going in the same orientation, it's going to line up and it's going to look good. Now, it's not going to be perfect. Don't expect perfection. Now, this is pretty straightforward, and I sketched the design out on graph paper to keep it even, and that's the measurement. And you can see that you have to keep 1/4 of it open because that's going to be your negative space on your design. It lines up really evenly. Doesn't mean you're going to stamp evenly, but you get the overall design going, and the pattern seems to work out for itself. Smudges and smears and imperfections and all. And I'm going to use a solvent-based dye-based ink because it's going to dry permanently, and it should dry pretty quickly. Now, before you get started, you want to make sure that you have the paper you need, the stamp that you need, and the ink that you need. But also make sure that you have a well-lit flat surface that's protected, that gives you some room to move around and get comfortable. It's also going to be very messy. This is not a quick process. This isn't, I mean, it goes fast, but you're not just going to sit down and stamp out rolls and rolls of paper. Well, you might, but if you do, please let me know. But it's something that you have to be patient with, and you have to be forgiving of yourself, of imperfections and smears, and it's just part of the handcrafted feel. So if you're a perfectionist, think this through. So I think that's it. So it's time to stamp. Okay, so I have my stamp, I have my stamp pad, and of course I have my re-inker, because you're not going to get very far unless you have a lot of ink. And I will re-ink this many times as I stamp this big sheet of paper. I'm going to re-ink my ink pad because it's necessary. I've already shaken this up. And you just want to squish it around on your ink pad evenly. You can kind of press the tip in a little bit and go around the edges. And just give it a good amount of ink. It's going to soak into the ink pad. There's a little fiber there, so I'm going to pull it off. Little fibers do get in the way of your stamped images. Believe it or not, you'll see as you go along. I'm going to ink my stamp, and always with the carved impression facing upward so that you can see how much ink you're putting on it. You can start anywhere. You can start at an angle, you can start straight, and just for the sake of your own sanity and mine, we'll just start straight. And I'm just going to put the stamp down, and I'm going to make sure that I have even impression, even pressure all over the stamp, and then carefully lift it up. We're going to reload it, and we're going to keep going. And then you just want to make sure you're going to be lining up, going along the same orientation, and just line it right up next to it. I probably could have pressed more evenly. I probably could have made sure that my ink was very well distributed. So I'm going to give it a little bit extra pressure this time, consistently, and that's a lot better. And this is how you build your design. Now, you could go straight across and do line by line, or you can kind of build it this way. I have found that going line by line does help keep you lined up. I mean, if you do start going in a direction upward and around, you might get more uneven than you want. And already you can see I'm a little uneven, and you have to just be okay with that. If you want it to be perfect, then go really, really slow and make sure that you're really, really lined up. But for the sake of this demonstration and this video, I just want to get you guys going so that you understand how to create this wonderful pattern. So I am going to go upward, and we'll see what happens there. And I'm going to line it up here and here, these 2 points here, the point here and the point here. It should work. It should look pretty even. We'll find out. It's always sort of, again, see, a little uneven there. But like I said, you're going to have to be okay with the unevenness aspect of it. That gives it the handmade feel, right? Now, I just want to show you this line right here. This is because I have some paper underneath, and I'm going to, underneath here, that was just lining up along the bottom. So just make sure that your surface is nice and even underneath, and that you don't have any extra paper or anything under there. You just want a nice clean surface, or you will get, the impression will show. Just keep making sure that your stamp is going in the right direction and it's as lined up as possible. Now from here, you're just going to keep building your design all over the whole paper. You're going to find that it's going to get a little faded in some areas. Make sure that your ink pad is really well inked up. Stop and re-ink it as many times as you need to, because it's really going to benefit your stamping. Clearly, I need to add more ink onto the stamp. As I was inking it, I smeared the ink. So even though this does dry on non-porous surfaces, you got to be careful because it doesn't dry right away and it has a little bit of open time. And I'm gonna just pretend that's not there, but make sure I don't do that again. But the truth is, you're not going to see any of the imperfections, the smudged ink, the misaligned pattern, because when it's finished, it's going to be beautiful and it's just going to be fabulous. So I promise you, you're not going to notice it. I promise. It's crooked. Oh well. So now I'm coming to the edge of the paper, and I'm just going to slide some scratch paper underneath here so I can stamp off the edge, because I want to use as much stamped paper as I can. And another tip I would suggest is, if you know what size box you're going to be wrapping, go ahead and measure out your paper first and then stamp the paper. Now, you could certainly stamp a big sheet of paper, but I don't know how much time you have, and I don't know how much patience you have, but let's just start small. Well, there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me teach you how to stamp a beautiful buffalo plaid or buffalo check design. I hope you're inspired, and if you guys try this project, let me know. Send me a message. down below, and be sure to subscribe because I have a lot more ideas up my sleeve. And if you don't follow me on Skillshare, please do. And if you're not a member of Skillshare, what are you waiting for? Anyway, the link is below, and happy stamping. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.